the 23rd day in the month of July 2024. And yes, it is a Tuesday, a beautiful, wonderful Tuesday. It is rainy out there. So yeah, you might as well want to take on your, rain artillery, if I may put it that way, so that you get yourself protected from rain. Well, yes, this is the political and current affairs prog show on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, where we get to talk politics and current affairs. My name is Udwak Daniel, and yes, it's going to be quite a journey this morning as we go looking into the topical issue that borders around the striking or the proposed strike issue that, of course, has been slated. Sorry, did I say strike? I beg your pardon. Protest that has been proposed for August 1 of 2024. So the topic, of course, would be Nigeria's political tension, protest or persecution. And we'll be looking at, engaging our guest, who's in the person of Comrade Gerald Okachi. He's a human rights activist, public affairs commentator, and social analyst as we get, in the discourse this morning. But might I also open it up just a little bit and bring it to your eardrums, give you a foundation so that you do not have a wrong or a misconception about the topical issue, right? Sometime during the week, a special advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on media and publicity, Bayo Onanuga, accused Peter Obi and his supporters of being behind the planned protest, stating that they should be held responsible for any crisis that ensues. Now, Peter Obi, who happens to be the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party LP, has been accused by the presidency of being behind the planned protest, but his campaign spokesman, Diran Onifade, denies this. Well, Aline Dume, who happens to be a senator representing Borno South, has advised President Tinubu to address the planned protest through dialogue with the organizers, who are mostly youths. Now, Ayuba Waba, president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, that would not be the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, in the person of George East, by Nigerians, and fears that the situation could escalate if not addressed. Now, we've also seen quite a number of persons who have come out to speak against, the planned protest, as well as speaking against the forceful, approach that the federal government might want to, look into the matter with, that it might not just be the way forward. Festus Keyamo, of course, has also, added his voice in the discourse, in the conversation, and he has stated that, look, violent protest might be just a way of deliberately organizing a demonstration to push for a change of government, and it is a treasonable act. But then the All Workers Convergence, AWC, called for protest against hunger and bad governance, stating that it is a legitimate right of the people. Now, the Labour Party has denied involvement in the planned protest and warns against dragging Peter Obi into the rising tension. Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, again expressing concern about the economic hardship faced by Nigerians and fears that the situation could escalate if not addressed. Now, there are some potential and critical concerns right there, as when you want to look at it. Of course, it is hashtagged End Hunger in Nigeria. This hashtag is highlighting the main reason behind the planned protest, which is the economic hardship and the hunger faced by Nigerians. But you might as well want to reconcile, the hashtag with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's recent feats. I mean, give it to the president right there. Some laudable feats have been ongoing right there, where the president has shown through body language a decisiveness, in tackling some of the issues that bedevil us as a country and as a people. The launch of the National Social Investment Program, aiming to reduce poverty and inequality, the implementation of the national minimum wage, increasing the minimum wage to 70,000. By the way, in case you didn't know, the president has assented to it. Of course, it is now legit. The launch of National Housing Program, which is aimed to provide affordable housing for Nigerians, right? We could still go on and on, right? Let's talk about the implementation of the National Youth Empowerment Program aimed to empower youth through skills acquisition and job creation, launch of the National Health Insurance Scheme, the implementation of the National Infrastructure Development Program, and of course the launch of the National Agricultural Program, and not forgetting, of course, the student loan scheme that is ongoing too as well. So when you look at the hashtag End Hunger Nigeria, in Nigeria is still resonating with many Nigerians. Why? Because it seems as though Nigerians are yet to feel the impact of these programs, and the planned protest is aimed to bring attention to the ongoing economic hardship and hunger faced by many Nigerians. It is also, from my observation, research observation, the calls for protest seems to be somewhat of a mixed political and genuine concerns about the economic hardship and hunger in the land. Well, some opposition parties and groups may be using the protest as a political tool. Many Nigerians are genuinely concerned about the economic situation, and they are seeking, a change. Well, getting involved now with our guest, who is in the person of Comrade Okachi Gerald, we would, of course, engage this discourse and as well open it up for you, and of course get to hear your 2 cents on the matter as we look to be as very, very unbiased as we can. And I would also want to implore us that you listen attentively, and of course when you are up to bring your thought in, let's also be very clear on the fact that, hey, it's not about inciting, it's not about attacking personalities, it's about addressing the issue as you feel it, but then in the most civil and responsible way. Comrade Okachi Gerald, welcome aboard to the discourse this morning.
Yes, a very good morning to you and good morning to Nigerians.
Exactly. Well, the political landscape of Nigeria has been marred by allegations, counter-allegations, and some controversy surrounding the presidency and opposition leaders. Recent claims of planned protests and arrests have sparked some concerns about citizens' freedom of assembly and expression. Now, this whole conversation aims at providing some sort of comprehensive analysis to the situation, exploring some of the timelines, numerical values if where necessary, and even the key players involved. Let's examine, some of the allegations against Peter Obi, the presidency's accusations, and the, political impact on national stability and security. Additionally, we should also look at some of the comparisons with other African and international countries, just to provide, context and insight, right? There are some very salient concerns that Nigerians are having, in the midst of all of these, and some questions that also arise from it. There are fears that there might be issues of potential for violence, where the AP has warned against violent protest, and there are concerns that the situation could escalate. There is also the place of economic hardship, right, where many are seeing the planned protest, as a voice against hunger and bad governance, which is highlighting the economic challenges faced by Nigerians. And finally, of course, political tensions as yet another concern. The accusations against Peter Obi and the Labour Party have increased, political tensions with the potential for further instability. If you look at all of these, what do you think about would have been the high point for this, planned protest, which should commence August 1?
Well, you agree with me that in Nigeria, protests have been a common method for citizens to express their dissatisfaction with various issues such as government policies, economic conditions, and social injustice. And this is seen, and this is being observed and seen everywhere in the world. Is a means of expression of their dissatisfaction with some of the developing realities. The right to protest is generally supported by the Nigerian Constitution, specifically under Section 14. Section 40. I think it was captured in Chapter 2 and Chapter 4, especially in Section 40, which guarantees freedom of assembly and association. This provision allows Nigerians, to assemble freely and associate with others for the protection of their interests, including the right to protest. However, the reality on ground can be more complex. While the Constitution provides these rights to protesters, protesters often face challenges such as police brutality arrest and other forms of repression. For example, it can be likened to what happened in EndSARS in 2020. Other samples you can even cite is the Occupy Nigeria, Save Nigerian Group, etc., etc. The EndSARS protest began as a call to end police brutality by the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, that is the SARS, but grow into broader and wider demand for governance reforms. Despite the constitutional backing, the government's response to these protests include the use of force and other measures to disperse crowd and suppress the movement. The reality today we see, many are still have not recovered from that reality. At least I think I have someone that is still carrying police bullets up to a date as we talk, as that regards to EndSARS protests. In summary, why Nigerian Constitution support the right to protest? Practical exercise of these rights can encounter significant obstacles due to governmental and law enforcement actions. Now, talking about accusation of Mr. P2B as the sponsor of alleged sponsor of the protest, is funny, it's unfortunate, it's shameful, that a high place individual like Bayo Onanuga, that we all respect, could descend too low because of political interest. These were steps that William Ruto took when there were glimpses of protests in Kenya. I think Odinga was accused at a point. That was, I think, sometime last year in the FDC. At the end of the day, they decided to have a government of national unity. At the end of the day, we saw the reality. Odinga was not seen in the picture. At the end of the day, protesting went on. And the reality we saw today is that both the government, the protesters, the people of Kenya suffer the consequences of that protest. Now, P2B is a prominent Nigerian politician and former governor of Anambra State. He has faced numerous accusations of different things, including this sponsoring a protest. These allegations are particularly sensitive in Nigeria because political tensions and accusations of undermining Nigerian stability are common. If you look at the accusations in context, P2B has been accused by different political opponents, media sources of financially supporting protests, aim at destabilizing the government or pushing a particular political agenda. This protest often involves grievances related to economic conditions, governance, and security issues. Now, if you look at all these contests, you will see that it carries the tune of political rivalry, and the implications is call it political climate, legal reputational consequences, public perception of Mr. P2B, impact on protests and security concerns, among other things you can talk about. But it's one of those things that have kept us not progressing as a nation. Any nation that sponsors anti-protests, that sponsors anything that goes against expression of will with regards to how things are being worked, hardly progress. It's seen all over the world. Nigeria is a case study. Any nation.
Okay, so are you there? Right. It seems as though we have a bad connection right there. Well, yeah, that's what Comrade Gerald Okachi is saying. Hello, are you there, Comrade? Okay. We just lost you
yes.
for a while. Welcome back.
Yes. Okay. If you can't protest freely, what else are you calling for?
Hello, Comrade. Right. Just a little bit of glitch going on right there. And the Comrade has been adding his voice in the discourse. Comrade, are you back? Okay, so we'll just try to see how we can reconnect with you in a short bit, Comrade Gerald Okachi, so that we can have your 2 cents on the matter. But this and many more is what we'll be looking at. And if you also have your 2 cents in to the issue in discourse, you can as well get on to the phone lines, and let's get to, ask ourselves some of these critical issues and look into it. I mean, there's been allegations of planned protest, and arrest, and some of the concerns may be potential impact on citizens' freedom of assembly and expression, as the comrade also said. What evidence supports the allegation of planned protest and arrest? How do these allegations, right, align with or contradict previous statements and actions? And you might also want to consider the president's accusation against presidency's accusation against Peter Obi, where some concern have come from the place of potential damage to Obi's reputation and political career. And a salient question would be, what are the specific accusations made against Peter Obi? What have these accusations been received, or how have these accusations been received by the public and other political leaders? Quite a number of persons have said that this protest that is planned has nothing to do with Peter Obi or the Labour Party, that it has everything to do with, what Nigerians are facing at the moment. And Nigerians are speaking up and saying, hey, look, we cannot continue in this quagmire. We cannot go in circles any longer. But we've seen situations where in many times where, of course, some of these protests, though peaceful at this very start, might get to a place where you see hired thugs, people who indeed come around right back and, of course, try to cause mayhem, right? And wouldn't you agree that in all of the above, would it not be the federal government seemingly being proactive rather than reactive in ensuring that there is peace and stability in the country? I mean, many times we've seen this protest bring untold hardship to the people. And what may seem as peaceful, soon becomes or carries the semblance of a chaotic demonstration with vandalism, living pandemonium, destruction of lives and property in its wake, right? Could we not find another way to dialogue, to have this conversation? I mean, Aline Dume had come out to advising the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying, hey, dialogue might just be the way forward rather than looking, to, maybe engaging using the military, using the police, using the paramilitary to halting a protest, which is seen by the Constitution as a right, of the freedom to express, of the people to express some certain levels of freedom, especially when they are somewhat fed up with certain policies and they want to have their views heard. But quite a number of persons too have also said, could there not be another way out of this quagmire? Must we go down the route of a protest, as we've seen such happen with the joint force of the NLC and the it didn't seem as though that went well with most Nigerians, as some persons also had to pay the ultimate price in that regard. Right, the number would be 0907 353 0044. The other number would be 0908 766 8888, and the WhatsApp portal number is 0909 705 4450. Like I always say, keep it short and simple, go straight to the point, and let's not attack personality, address the topical issue. Hello and good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Mr. George.
Mr. George.
You see, let me just
where are you calling from? Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Canaro, sir.
And your name is George, yeah?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
George.
yes.
Straight to the point. Straight to the point. Straight to the point.
Let me cut it short. Let Tinubu bring subsidy back.
Okay.
Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me, sir?
Go ahead.
The only thing that they will stop this moving is let Tinubu bring subsidy back, because he take the whole Nigeria in granted.
Okay.
Are you hearing me, sir?
All right, I got that. Thank you, George.
The way that he move and the way that he do in government, that is not the way to go. He just come and just created a very mighty hardship in the country that he will become a president. The day that he will become a president, the following day you created a very big hardship. And this hardship, all the home masses in Nigeria are not happy with his government. Let him bring that subsidy back. Everything will come down. Then the masses will continue moving.
All right.
Sharing rights and sharing this is not the way to go.
Okay.
we are sharing. We are not better. We're Nigeria. We have strength to work. Many of us were farmers and no security. The country is very, very bad.
All right, George,
So
your point is loud. It's
It's
clear.
bad, then all these things they will come down. If it's not so, the government will go down. That's
Right. Thank you so much, George. Let's get on to this one. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning to you, please. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Where you calling from, please? All right, let's go take yet another call, please. When you're calling in, let us know your name.
My name is Usman. I'm calling from Garki.
Usman, all the way from Gariki. Usman, straight to the point. Let's get to it.
Yes. There's something I discovered about this government.
Okay.
Immediately there is a problem, they bring up the constitution, which they themselves refuse to follow. And again, this issue of Nigerians having the right to protest, right to express their feelings and what they think about the situation of the country. Why didn't they talk about this when NSAS was going on? And why are they not being constitutionally sued for killing innocent souls during the NSAS protest? And apart from that, this issue of Peter Obi being accused, this is the system they usually use. Immediately they see that they are losing, they bring up an idea to distract the general public. Everybody understands that Peter Obi has never been in support of any protest in regards to what is happening in the country currently. He has only been quiet and not saying anything since after the election. And now see they are accusing him just to destroy the public. Oh, let them accuse Peter Obi and everybody will concentrate on trying to defend Peter Obi. Yeah, I'm just brought down to one fact that immediately they sense that they are losing, they bring up something to distract the general public. Even this issue of Dangote. Since, why is Dangote not speaking up since? Why is he speaking up now? We just discover that they are all birds of the feather.
All right, thank you.
Together.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that one. Well, getting back to you, Comrade Gerald, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Right, Comrade. I mean, Nigerians already talking. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, there's been accusations, counter accusations going on here and there. And Nigerians are saying, look, we've got a right to express ourselves, and they've raised certain, concerns too. How do you respond to these?
Well, it is an obvious thing that is a fundamental right to nature, to humanity, not just the Constitution, for every human being to express his dissatisfaction. So there's no crime in it for you to express your dissatisfaction on any developing thing, including your home. And the worst crime to humanity is a crime that where you beat a child, you deny the child the right to cry. That's the worst crime the worst wickedness anyone can express. In this circumstance, it's obvious that what is bringing about protests is due to hardship in the land, due to hunger in the land.
So you don't think it is politically motivated?
There's nothing like politics in it. If you look at what happened in Kenya, that was how William Ruto, started with accusation against Odinga. At the end of the day, Odinga was not seen in the protest. Odinga was not even close to the protest. At the end of the day, we saw what happened. This is a divide and rule system of government and a way to possibly distract people and cause division among the people. No place that indulges in this kind of governance that succeed. Last week, a party member who is a senator accused the same government, that is then chief whip of the Senate, Senator Alin Dume, in this regard. We saw with a speed of light that they used to suppress his voice. He was moved as chief whip, and they are further advised to, if he so wished, to leave the party for saying the truth, for hitting the truth. It's not only a person that is in that frame. Earlier this year, we saw how Senator Abdul Ningi was also suspended for raising a different opinion from with regards to budget padding and other things. So if we continue to suppress voices, we may end up hitting the revolution that we all pray not to happen. We may end up hitting the bottom where we don't want this nation to be, because certainly people must react. People will react. There's no way you push somebody to a war that will not. Even animals, when you put them to a war, they will revert back to find the escape route. And offering a solution to these realities, challenges, averting these upcoming protests or anything. By the way, when you mention protest, people tend to misunderstand what protest is all about. People tend to see protest as a riot. Civil or peaceful protest is not same as riots, except those being sponsored. If you look at people citing cases with regards to NSAS, we saw what happened in NSAS. NSAS was very peaceful, very organized, until we saw those guys in SUVs being sponsoring people with the sticks to beat those protesting peacefully.
So let me ask a question. There will be a question. This question will be a question on the minds and in the hearts of quite a number of Nigerians. Yes, we've seen protests that starts, peacefully. Initially, it always has a peaceful tone to it, and then in the course of the protest, we see another group of people come in sophisticated, arrivals and try to destroy the process of that protest, destroy the peace in that protest. Why am I asking this question? Whose responsibility or where should it fall, whose table should it fall on to ensuring that a protest of using that protest, to their own selfish gains would be, arrested, curbed, or caught, or nipped in the bud, and all of that? Where should it be? Should it be the issue of security agencies and the police, the military saying, I'm just giving an example now, saying that, don't go out for protest because it's dangerous and all of that. It will cause security, concerns and all of that. Or should it be their job to looking into who are those that may come to want to distort or destroy the protest? That's my question. So should it be? Where should we draw the line in ensuring that a protest is indeed a protest and it's peaceful and it maintains all of the necessary qualities for a protest?
Well, this question you ask is very, very technical, but to attempt it, let's start with responsibility of the protester and the responses of the government.
All right, let me put a peg to your thoughts, comrade. Let's go pay some bills. When you come back, of course, that would be your response, and of course, we'll take more calls. Right. Yeah, the conversation is here. This is Eagles 102.3 FM. Let's go pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
My people, the thing where they happen for my area,
Do you think I will now find out that you have contract to bring fresh girls?
I brought you from the gutters. Who gave you all the connects? MDG who? Without me, you would have been nobody. But
Join Media Coalition and Awareness to Halt Human Trafficking, MICAT, on I Wish I Knew radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. Let us join hands and kick human trafficking out of our communities. I Wish I Knew radio drama, brought to you by MICAT in partnership with the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and funded by the Embassy of Denmark in Nigeria.
Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, here to stay.
In 2022, she shook the world with her Real Worry Pin Unapologetically Me comedy special, where in her words, she plans to make sweet love to you guys.
Area, where the play?
Oh my God, you don't shout it.
Mark your calendars as the date is Sunday, the 28th of July. Venue, This Day Dome, Abuja. Ticket categories, regular 10,000 naira, VIP 50,000 naira, premium 100,000 naira, executive 200,000 naira. Tickets are available on realwarriorpicking.com and physically at all Razor Sharp collection outlets in Abuja. For contact and inquiries, please call 0703-656-5675. Sponsored by Maltida, Goldberg, Airpeace, and Fidelity Bank. Partners, Lisa Seeds, Mshell Homes, Sense Tracy, Black Box, and Dexon Security.
Meet your partner, Eagles FM Abuja. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Here to stay.
It is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. We will give you an audiovisual radio experience that you can count on any time in the day. We're still talking Nigeria's political tensions, protest, or persecution. And yes, our guest in the person of Comrade Gerald Okachi is, right here and via the phone lines. And of course, he's going to be adding his voice continuously as he had done just a while ago. In letting us into some of the thoughts and the gray areas that we probably are not seeing in this regard or in the course of this discourse. Nigeria's political tensions, protest or persecution is what we are looking at. But just before we, align with him, let us also let you in on the fact that there has been some comparative analysis where from African countries, South Africa, experienced political tensions and protest, and it has led to increased security measures with the government deploying troops to quell unrest. In Kenya, we've seen opposition leaders have faced allegations of inciting violence with the government imposing restrictions on public gatherings. And on the international front, we've also seen protests and allegations of political persecution have been ongoing with concerns about national stability and security. And even in the United Kingdom, political tensions and protests have led to increased security measures with the government facing criticism for its handling of the situation. Right. And there has been, of course, a panacea to what it should be like, in solving some of these issues. Well, the phone lines are still open though, but let's get back with our guest as we get to look into some answers, some thought line regarding what should really be the job of security personnel or the security in view of a protest. Is it to stop the protest for fear of hijack, or to get those responsible to be vigilant? Well, welcome aboard, Comrade. Yes. So that's the question.
Well, you look at some of the responsibilities of protesters and security forces, policing the society. Protesters have the right to express his dissatisfaction with economic policies or decisions by the elite or ruling class. While the security men, including Nigerian police, civil defense and others, is to ensure that whatever expression they are doing is not infringing on others. How do I mean? Ensuring there's a peaceful protest, ensuring that there's no intruder that will come in to, obstruct or possibly cause chaos or mayhem with regards to what they are doing. If you watch, in recent years under President Muhammad Buhari regime, we saw several times when Shiites expressed their feelings with the incarceration of their leader then, and guide their peaceful expression until whenever you see maybe those that the protests we are targeted at feel uncomfortable with them, you see one story or the other will trigger reactions, as often seen. So all over the world, peaceful protest is a way of expression, and I have never seen where peaceful protest ends in crisis, except those that are targeted with regard to that protest begin to react in a negative way, and we have seen that how it has panned out in Nigeria and in other African countries, in South Africa, in Kenya, most especially in recent times. At the beginning of the peaceful protests, the protesters were taken for granted. They tried to suppress them. They tried to use the forces, I mean the police forces and other joint forces that are being paid with taxpayers' money. And we saw how they revolted, they reacted. Rather than peaceful protest, it ended up becoming a riot that everybody takes to his heels. And at the end of the day, government see them more than what they would have done in a peaceful manner. This protest that is being announced or planned, honestly speaking, I don't see anything stopping it. The only thing that can stop it is for the government to revise their decision with the two cardinal things that have caused hardship in the land. The removal of fuel subsidy. At the beginning, the same way they are sponsoring unfounded allegation of who is sponsoring and who is not sponsoring, it's the same way they push such narrative to the Nigerian public that fuel subsidy is the rich that benefit from the fuel subsidy, is the elite that benefit from the fuel subsidy, is those that are driving cars that are benefiting from fuel subsidy. But the reality today shows that fuel subsidy removal has caused untold hardship, increase in virtually everything we do except salaries. You see that information given was false. Today, before even the of this rights to organizing protests, we have seen Nigerian people, criticizing government when they announce they want to buy luxury vehicles for the lawmakers. Nigerians said no. They did buy it anyway. They ignored that. We saw Nigerians say no when they want to build a new residence for the VP, amounting to over 21 billion naira. Nigerians said no. They used it anyway. We saw Nigerians reacting when they embark on borrowing. You understand? Nigerians said no, but they went on to the point of borrowing in trillions. So the banter that the Nigerian government and the Dangote refinery are throwing at each other, something that the government could not do for years. An individual and his company managed to do it to save us from the quagmire of importation and the crisis of scarcity and other challenges associated with the energy sector. And we saw the frustration the man is being made to face. At the end of the day, it will be politicized. What they will hinge on his neck will be monopoly.
All right.
Same way they are trying to gag P2B today. If today P2B accusation is not selling, don't be surprised before the end of the week they will drag Atiku into it. If Atiku is not selling, don't be surprised that before the end of the month they will drag Kwankwaso into it. It doesn't sell well, and they cannot allow our nation to progress if we venture into this act, assuming without conceding that there are evidences, empirical evidences to show that opposition are sponsoring protests. What do you have to do? You bring superior argument. You become transparent in accountability. Tell Nigerian people, look at what we met. Look at what we are doing. There's nothing we could have done except this angle. Yes, it may be painful, but at the end it will be very glorious. You bring superior argument and convincing argument. I'm not trying to thread blame, pointing accusing finger, trying to shift, give you different excuses just to do divide and rule and bring sentimental issues into the political system.
All right, let's put a peg to your thoughts right now and take a few calls. Hello and good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Comrade Felix. I'm calling from Sulik Jama Jaffe.
All right, Comrade, you've got 1 minute. Let's get to it.
So I want to speak. All we are saying, position, move on to.
Good morning, this is Moses.
Yes, Moses, welcome aboard. Let's get into it.
Yeah, thank you. I want to appreciate your guest over there. He has made a lot of analysis. The nationwide protest that is about to come, it's about the reality, economic reality on the ground. There is nothing like puncturers. They say a hungry man is always an angry man. You can push a man to the wall and it will spit answer. So putting blame on individuals is not the right thing to do by now. That is one mistake that they will do. I think what they are trying to do is a political blame to rise up against opposition party. This is not the time the reality is on the ground. You say you fix this country. The country is already in your custody. Why must you put blame on your opposition in the reality on the ground? The reality is that the oil subsidy is the root cause of all what we are going through today. If you make an implementation of a policy and you discover that that policy couldn't work, go to plan B. Parents have been crying. Now, before you remove this oil subsidy, one thing is in common. You didn't put any mechanism on the ground to know what this oil subsidy will cost on the ordinary Nigerians. You didn't do that.
Okay. All right, Moses.
You went straight and make sure that you put those things before you now announce. But now look at the condition we are facing. And note this, sir. The issue of this nationwide strike started from the north. The agitation is far from the north from the beginning. And the thing is coming widely now. So what the government should do by now is to think on how they can take care to make sure that food is available. If ordinary Nigerians will see food on this table, there will be nothing like nationwide strike.
All right, Moses.
That is what they would have been doing.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. God bless.
Appreciate. Well, we'll see this one. Good morning, say you, UD. Of course, good morning to you. On the planned protest, the people orchestrating this protest are Peter Obi supporters and some people who lost the election. I will blame Peter Obi and his VP for inciting their supporters because they lost the election. Obi has been parading himself like president, going up and down, claiming he won the election. This the reason that his supporters are capitalizing, trying to force or bring civil unrest to propel the military to take over government. Okay, let the government call Peter Obi to order. He's not the only one who has contested and lost elections. Abbas reporting from Dusay right there. And we'll see this one too. It's UD, good morning once again. The presidency is pointing accusing fingers at Peter Obi, who sponsored the January 2012 protest against President Goodluck when he intended to remove fuel subsidy. El-Rufai, former President Buhari and others participated. Henry Oga from Suleja. All right, and we should take this one. Samuel is my name from Kuje. He says, greetings to you, my brother Uduak Daniel. The government should stop this propaganda and accusations. Do they think the Nigerians are blind? The best thing for them to do in order to stop the protest is to be just and right in the way and manner they are handling the affairs that concerns the masses. Make the country insecurity free for us to go our legitimate work and business. Make the farmers feel secure to do their farming work. Short and simple. Remain blessed, UD. All right, Samuel right there has given his 2 cents on the issue right there. All right, let's get back with you. But just before we get back with you, comrade, we should take this call. Hello and good morning.
Hello, good morning to you, Dr. Udwa.
Good morning to you, Dr. Olajide. Yes.
And this is Omotayo reaching you.
Okay, Omotayo, I beg your pardon. Sorry. Thank you, Omotayo. Welcome aboard. Let's get into it.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate your guest. He has spoken very, in fact, eloquently well.
Right.
You see, my question now is, how come it is the government that refused to listen from day one till now, till 1 year and plus after? How come they are listening right now? Because of the protest on ground. You see, the government it's clear that the government is deliberately being wicked. Permit me to use that word on air. Being severely wicked to the people. Look, let me tell you, Dr. Udwa, this advice is kept coming over and over and over. But these people refuse to yield. How come they are... Look, don't be surprised. When the protest starts and they see that it's getting out of hand, and people are calling for their neck on the Golgotha, they'll begin to say, okay, come, let's sit down at the table of negotiation. This table of negotiation, where was it long before now? When you know the people are crying, and these people will come on air and say the economy is boosting back up, everybody is okay, things are fine, this and this. Look, Dr. Udwat, I'm sorry.
Right there. And yes, of course, we give voice to the voiceless.
Yes,
and put a cap to it. While you're reacting, I would love you to put a cap to it. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like you to put a cap to it, like wrap up, your thoughts, in conclusion and everything.
Yeah. If you watched yesterday, I want to make a narrative with regards to what is happening in the United States of America. Director Kimberlin was invited by the Congress with regards to the attempted murder of the Republican candidate. and you saw the way she took responsibility of what happened, admitted failure, pledged to submit and support investigation and report. But here, what we do is to trade blame when things is about to happen and when it happens. We should have a responsive and responsible government, not the one that will be looking for blame or excuses for any failure. We know the challenges before this government came on stage. And these challenges is what we expect them to address, and not maybe looking for ways to divide the Nigerian masses. Today, they are talking about the electricity tariff. At the same time,